Picture ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs and pyramids, a civilization that thrived for millennia along the fertile banks of the Nile. Imagine the sheer scale of their monuments, testaments to their power and ingenuity. The sun blazing relentlessly upon colossal temple columns, casting long, dramatic shadows that dance with the passage of time. These structures, built to honor the gods, stand as silent witnesses to the rise and fall of empires. Within these sacred spaces, the air is alive with mystery and power, thick with the scent of incense and the echoes of ancient rituals. Feel the weight of history pressing down, the palpable sense of the divine. Among the vast pantheon of gods and goddesses worshipped by the Egyptians, one figure stands apart, radiating an aura of both awe and trepidation. Sekhmet, the lioness-headed goddess, a deity of immense power and complex character. Her very presence commands respect, her gaze piercing and unwavering. She is both feared and revered, a force to be reckoned with, a protector and a destroyer. The ancient Egyptians understood the duality of her nature, the delicate balance between creation and annihilation. She is the embodiment of paradox, a living contradiction that challenges our understanding of good and evil. Sekhmet is the goddess of war, leading armies to victory and unleashing her fury upon enemies. Yet she is also the goddess of healing, capable of curing the sick and mending broken bodies. She represents destruction, the chaotic forces that can tear down civilizations, and restoration, the power to rebuild and create anew from the ashes. Her breath was the desert wind, a scorching gale that could strip the land bare, burying cities beneath mountains of sand. Her roar a harbinger of death, a primal scream that echoed across the battlefields, instilling fear in the hearts of her foes. Yet she was also the patroness of physicians, guiding their hands as they performed delicate surgeries and concocted potent remedies. To the Egyptians, this duality made perfect sense, reflecting their understanding of the cyclical nature of life and the interconnectedness of all things. They believed that only the force that brings plague can also bring the cure, that destruction is often a necessary precursor to renewal. Sekhmet's image is iconic, instantly recognizable and deeply symbolic. She is depicted as a woman with a lioness's head, a powerful and regal creature embodying both strength and grace. Her head is crowned with the sun disk, a symbol of her connection to Ra, the sun god and the source of all life, and she is often shown holding the Ankh of life, representing her power to grant immortality and ensure the continuation of existence. She was the fierce eye of Ra, his avenging agent, unleashed upon humanity when they strayed from the path of righteousness. She was unleashed to punish the wicked and restore order to a world teetering on the brink of chaos. Yet she was also the healer who could restore balance, soothing the pain and suffering she herself had inflicted. Her power was absolute, a force of nature that could not be controlled or contained. Encompassing both devastation and renewal, she embodied the full spectrum of existence, from the darkest depths to the highest peaks. The Egyptians saw her as the wild, untamable force, a primal energy that existed beyond the boundaries of civilization. She dwelled just beyond the ordered world of the Nile, a constant reminder of the untamed wilderness that surrounded them. To invoke her was to summon raw, elemental energy, to tap into a source of power that was both exhilarating and terrifying. It was dangerous but necessary, for Sekhmet's power was essential to maintaining the delicate balance of the cosmos. Sekhmet was a living reminder, etched in stone and woven into the fabric of their beliefs. Sekhmet was a living reminder that the power to destroy is also the power to heal, and that true strength lies in embracing both aspects of our nature. Sekhmet's most famous myth, a tale etched in the sands of time, speaks of a dramatic shift, a descent into chaos, and an eventual return to harmony. It's a story that resonates even today, exploring themes of divine justice, unchecked rage, and the potential for even the most destructive forces to be tempered and transformed. It begins with Ra, the sun god, the supreme ruler, angered and deeply disappointed by humanity's disrespect. He witnesses their transgressions, their disregard for the divine order, and his celestial heart burns with righteous indignation. He feels betrayed by his creation, the very beings he sought to nurture and guide. From his divine eye, the all-seeing eye that watches over the world, he unleashes a force, a being born of his fury and frustration. He creates Sekhmet, a fearsome warrior goddess, a manifestation of his wrath. Sekhmet, a being of pure fury, is tasked with punishing mortals, with delivering Ra's divine retribution upon a world that has strayed from the path. She is the embodiment of righteous anger, a force of nature unleashed upon humanity. Her rampage is catastrophic. A wave of destruction washes over the land, leaving devastation in its wake. Her fury knows no bounds, her thirst for vengeance unquenchable. Fields run red, stained with the blood of the fallen, a grim testament to Sekhmet's destructive power. The land itself seems to weep under the weight of her wrath. The Nile, once a source of life and prosperity, is choked with bodies, a river of death flowing through the heart of Egypt. Her bloodlust is insatiable, driving her to ever greater acts of violence. The gods, horrified by the scale of the destruction, witnessing the near annihilation of humanity, beg Ra to stop her, to rein in his vengeful creation. They fear that before all humanity is lost, consumed by Sekhmet's insatiable rage, Ra must intervene. The fate of the world hangs in the balance. Ra, witnessing the consequences of his actions, realizing the devastation he has wrought, devises a plan, a clever scheme to quell Sekhmet's fury without resorting to further violence. He orders beer to be brewed, vast quantities of it, and then dyed red to resemble blood, a deceptive offering to trick the bloodthirsty goddess. This crimson concoction is then poured across the land, flooding the fields in a sea of red, a tempting mirage for the rampaging Sekhmet. Sekhmet, mistaking the beer for blood, the object of her destructive desire, drinks deeply, consuming the intoxicating liquid with savage abandon. The potent brew takes its effect, and she becomes drunk, her senses dulled, her rage slowly subsiding. Her rage subsides, the fiery intensity that fueled her rampage begins to fade, and she falls into a deep, enchanted sleep. When she awakens, the bloodlust is gone, the destructive fury that defined her has vanished, replaced by a newfound sense of calm. She is transformed, her essence softened, and she emerges as the gentler goddess Hathor, a symbol of love, beauty, and music. The world is saved, not by force of arms, not by further bloodshed, but by cunning, by ingenuity, and by a river of beer, a testament to the power of wit over brute strength. This myth beautifully explains Sekhmet's dual nature, the seemingly contradictory aspects of her being. She is both destroyer and healer, a bringer of both death and life, a paradox embodied in a single goddess. She represents both wrath and mercy, the two sides of the same divine coin. It's a story of boundaries, of understanding the appropriate time and place to unleash power, of recognizing the limits of even divine wrath. It's a lesson in knowing when to transform destructive energy into something positive, something healing, something beautiful. Sekhmet's legend endures, etched in stone and whispered through the ages, as both a warning about the dangers of unchecked rage and a promise of the potential for redemption. It reminds us that even the fiercest force, the most destructive impulse, can ultimately be turned to peace, can be channeled into something constructive. Her story is a testament to the enduring power of transformation, a reminder that change is always possible, even for the most formidable of goddesses. Sekhmet's legacy shaped Egyptian medicine. Her temples became centers of healing where priests served as both doctors and intermediaries to the goddess. Egyptians believed only Sekhmet could both cause and cure plagues. Her priests blended practical medicine, setting bones, preparing herbal remedies, with rituals to appease her. Patients sought not just physical cures but spiritual balance, hoping to transform Sekhmet's wrath into healing. Rituals, prayers, and amulets were as important as medicine itself. The psychological comfort of believing the goddess could be pacified was powerful. Healing was seen as restoring balance between chaos and order, humanity and the divine. Sekhmet's destructive energy, when channeled, became a force for life. In Egypt, health was more than the absence of illness, it was harmony with the gods. Sekhmet's influence reached every corner of Egypt, permeating every aspect of life, from the grandest temples to the most humble homes. Her presence was felt in the scorching deserts and along the fertile banks of the Nile. Pharaohs, the divine rulers of Egypt, recognized Sekhmet's immense power and strategic importance. They invoked her as protector and legitimizer of their rule, seeking her favor in times of war and peace. They went so far as styling themselves as beloved of Sekhmet, a title that underscored their close relationship with the fierce goddess and their reliance on her strength. This title was not merely ceremonial, it was a declaration of their commitment to upholding Ma'at, the cosmic order. Her statues, hundreds commissioned by Amenhotep III, a pharaoh particularly devoted to Sekhmet, were strategically placed throughout the kingdom. These imposing figures stood as daily reminders of her power, a constant visual representation of the goddess's might and unwavering vigilance. Each statue was not just a work of art, but an object of ritual, offerings and prayers, a focal point for the Egyptians' hopes and fears. These acts of devotion were performed to keep her wrath at bay, to appease the fiery goddess, and ensure the continued prosperity of the land. Annual festivals like the famously riotous Festival of Drunkenness were central to Sekhmet's worship. These festivals reenacted her pacification, a symbolic retelling of the myth where Ra calmed Sekhmet's bloodlust with beer dyed red to resemble blood. The reenactment culminated with communal drinking and celebration, a cathartic release of pent-up anxieties, and a reaffirmation of the goddess's benevolent side. These rituals allowed Egyptians to confront fears, the ever-present threats of plague, which could decimate the population, war, which threatened their borders, and the ever-looming specter of chaos, all within a safe, sacred context where they could seek solace and protection. By honoring her through these elaborate rituals and constant devotions, they believed they maintained cosmic order and social stability, ensuring the delicate balance of Ma'at was preserved. Sekhmet's presence was both a warning and a comfort, a constant reminder of the power that could both destroy and protect. Respect her, and she would protect, shielding the land from its enemies and ensuring the well-being of its people. Her worship endured for millennia, spanning the rise and fall of dynasties, witnessing the ebb and flow of Egyptian history. This enduring devotion is a testament to her deep hold on the Egyptian psyche, a reflection of the profound impact she had on their worldview and their daily lives. She was the nation's fierce guardian, both feared and beloved, a powerful symbol of both destruction and healing, forever etched in the sands of time. Sekhmet's story still resonates today. She embodies righteous anger and the power to set boundaries. Her myth validates the need for fierce protection and the courage to face overwhelming challenges. Sekhmet teaches that anger, when harnessed, can be a force for change and survival. Her transformation from destroyer to healer is a metaphor for personal growth. Even our darkest moments can lead to renewal and strength. Creation and destruction are inseparable. Sometimes old ways must fall for new life to emerge. Sekhmet reminds us that chaos can be the beginning of healing. Her legend is a guide for anyone navigating transformation and adversity. From the heart of ancient Egypt to today, Sekhmet endures as a symbol of power, resilience, and rebirth.